And now, ladies and gentlemen, and their youth, we have Dhukhilan, Jeevamani, and Elena Mercedes Haro Lima from the IOC Young Leader program. Our guests will take us on a journey into the program and share their personal stories with us all. So please give them a warm welcome, everyone.
Hi, everyone. We're very happy to be here. We're excited to meet you all.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dhukhilan Jeevamani from Singapore and part of the IOC Young Leaders program and one of the 25 young leaders.
My name is Mercedes Haro, and we're gonna tell you a little bit more about the program and then talk a little bit about our journeys as IOC Young Leaders. But first, we want to introduce you with a small video.
It is truly inspiring to bring about positive change focused on a wide range of issues where sport can make a difference in people's lives.
When I heard about the opportunity with the IOC Young Leaders, I was really excited by it. We need to create spaces that feel safe and exciting for all different sorts of people.
There's so much capacity building in a way that in designing your project, you get to understand what you really want.
Fighting poverty, fighting poor quality education, empowering girls so they know that they can succeed in life, they can do better, they can do more than what is expected from society.
The IOC Young Leaders program has been at the forefront to empower young people everywhere to make the world a better place through sport.
So this is the vision of the IOC Young Leaders program, which is to strengthen the role of sport as an important enabler for the UN Sustainable Development Goals. But this is also aligned to Olympism 365, and it's also aligned to the Olympic Agenda 2020+5, because the idea of this is to build partnerships so that we can all achieve the UN Sustainable Development Goals, so the SDGs as we call them. So it is building these partnerships to influence change in global social policy and to improve the resource allocation as well, but also to work with other organizations from the UN or agencies like UN Women, WHO, UNESCO, UNDP, etc. At the same time, this aligns to Olympism 365, which is the engine of the recommendation number 10 in the Olympic Agenda 2020+5, that it is about not only working towards the achievement of the SDGs through sports, but also bringing sports closer to the people so that they can live the Olympic values in their everyday lives and everywhere, so that everyone can feel the impact of sports in their lives, especially focusing through education, health, and inclusion. And also this is all about sustainability as well. As you know, now the Olympic Games, from the moment they are bidding to host the Games until the delivery of the Games, they are focusing also on sustainability. It is not only about economic sustainability, but sustainability throughout all the organization of the Games. So it is just really strengthening connections, for example, with development banks so that they can be more investment into sports infrastructure, or working with other organizations like NGOs so that they can work in the delivery of programs to help individuals get access to practicing sports. For example, there is many communities that they lack access or have zero access to sports, so it's important for them to be able to achieve it. And through sports, you can also get opportunities to vocational learning, also to other educational opportunities. It's also about working with the sports organizations so that they can also be safe and inclusive. And really is just building on these partnerships so that we can all work together toward achieving these goals. And this is also a snapshot of the program. As the video mentioned, currently in our generation, IOC Young Leaders 2021-2024, there is 25 of us. We are all representing the 5 continents. We all have been working on our projects. Most of us already started implementing our projects, and together we are actually working 10 out of the 17 SDGs that we are trying to tackle through our projects. And also we have different type of opportunities. Duke is going to explain a little bit but we also try to share our stories through different videos. We also participated in a podcast. We have a lot of content and information that we also like to share. So if you're also looking to learn more about it and also sort of join us in this learning process that we are ourselves during these 4 years, you can also do it. We share some of the resources of the expert sessions that we have. And this is kind of like a snapshot of the program.
Yep. So a little bit more of the IOC Young Leaders program. The program was actually redesigned to ensure that each young leader is given tools, resources, and opportunities to actually reach our full potential as social entrepreneurs. It's aligned with Olympism 365 and numerous SDGs. It's actually one of the few IOC Young Leaders program operating at grassroots levels. And it's also a program that actually helps young people to actually solve local issues on the ground with grassroots sports initiatives. It's a 4-year program concentrating on specific phases or stages in developing solutions every year. And also it's a blended learning approach with learning activities, with event engagements as well. Also a lot of emphasis on leadership development. Yep. Okay. So some of the key successes so far in this program is that a lot of the young leaders were able to take part in youth events in 2022, such as the Global Sports Week, as you can see, on the top left-hand corner. And then there's also the One Young World Summit as well, which was in Manchester. And there was also the launch of the highly successful podcast series called We Have a Goal, in partnership with Amy Purdy, a US Paralympian and advocate for inclusion. There's also the extended partnership with Panasonic till the end of 2024. So thank you, Panasonic, for that. And also, recently, all of us were able to meet at the Olympic House. The picture on the top right-hand corner with the IOC president as well. It was the first time of all of us were meeting after the pandemic. So it was great to have all of us in one house. So more successes is that majority of us were able to launch our project in 2022. And 6 of the current IOC Young Leaders have been appointed to the IOC commissions, bringing the total number to 18. Yes. Yep. So now I'll pass on to Mercedes, who will share more about herself.
So actually, I'm half Guatemalan, half Peruvian, so I'm representing both of my countries through the program. So to tell you a little bit about me and how I got involved in sports, actually I'm a former member of the Women's Saber National Fencing Team in Guatemala. I was a member of the team for 6 years. And through my involvement in sports is when I really realized that I wanted to work in sports to try to make a change, because I realized the impact and the benefits of sports. On my, I learned so many things and values through sports that I apply also on my daily life. So, having a healthier life, it didn't end with me when I stopped being in the team, but I tried to remain active all the time, for example. So there's many things that I took from my participation in sports that I bring to my work and to my daily life. I also have a bachelor's in international relations. I study in Guatemala, and then I continue and I got a master's degree in sports management from Georgetown University, which was a great learning opportunity for me. And through my studies, I'm actually a huge advocate for my region. In most of the work that I do it for Latin America, which is very far from here, many, many hours away. So I really try to focus on it because I want to work for the field of sports in my region. And my research work has been related to using sports, for example, as a tool for foreign policy, and also about how to make sports more competitive in our region through the commercialization of sports so that we can also be more competitive at the international level. So because of all of this, my goal is really to generate transformative change in and through sports to accomplish both social and economic development in Latin America. I see sports as an investment in human capital. The more we invest in people, the better chances are that we can have higher development in our countries. And I think one of the best ways to do that is through sports because of all the educational benefits, health benefits that we can gain through sports. And a little bit about my journey as an IOC Young Leader is because building on my goal that I do really want to make change in my communities and in my region, I found out about the program and I decided to apply because the IOC Young Leaders program is really this really huge platform that helps young leaders to make changes in their own communities by using sports. A little bit about what we get as an opportunity is through the program is expert sessions. So every month we have one expert that comes and they share their expertise about a topic or something that will help us develop our program through these 4 years. But we also have as well mentorship opportunities. We are assigned with a mentor, which usually is a past IOC Young Leader, and they share with us their experiences and the lessons learned so we can relate to others. And similarly, we have something that we call connect groups. So as we are 25, we divide into groups of 5, and we meet also monthly so that we can do these peer connections and peer exchanges, because sometimes, and I want to tell this to everyone here as well, you are not alone in whichever you are trying to do. There is always someone going through the same experience as you or going through the same challenges as you, and sometimes you don't realize that. So sharing with your group of friends, sharing with your networks, sharing with other people or mentors or people that you look up to, it can really help you to take your ideas forward. You know, we as individuals can have an impact, but we can also have it as a whole, as a group, we can even do more. Also, other opportunities that we get, I was part of it, was We Have a Goal podcast that you can listen to it. We were touching on different topics like gender, equality, inclusion, sustainability, and peace building. And we talked about like how are we building our projects, our experiences, and how we are integrating these principles into our projects and what we hope to achieve and how we want to contribute to the SDGs. But we also have other opportunities, like our different engagements in which we also transfer knowledge to others. And this is also why tomorrow we're going to have a workshop, and we're going to try to transfer some of the knowledge and the learning for those of you that are interested. For example, also in starting your own project, social business, and you are not sure on how to do it. So we also have these different types of opportunities. And to tell you a little bit about my project and the stage in which I am, I want to tell you a little bit more about where I come from. As I mentioned, I come from Latin America, specifically Guatemala, which is a small country in Central America, but we are very close to Mexico. So unfortunately, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador that you can see over here, they are suffering from a lot of like violent problems or poverty. And there is a lot of people that, because we are so close to the US, are now trying to migrate. So every year, hundreds of thousands of people from Central America are fleeing these countries by foot, and they are actually trying to cross from Central America all the way to the United States. And there has been groups of, or we call them caravans, which is like a large group of people that is trying to cross. There has been groups of up to 8,500 people. So you can imagine all the hardships that they face when they are really trying to go by foot. And large percentage of the people that is going is families. 68% are actually children or youth that are, you know, even younger or closer to your ages, that they're going with their families and trying to cross. So they really suffer a lot. Some of them lose their family members on this journey. Some of them suffer, like violence or abuse, or they are exposed to many hardships while they are on this journey. So seeing this being a very, crisis, a humanitarian crisis that is happening, really motivated me and got me thinking, how can we support migrant children and avoid exposing them to further harm? And how can I do this through sports? So my ultimate goal is to enhance the safety and protection of migrant children that are going through this process. As I focused on my region, a lot of them are from Central America, but there is also people that is coming even from further far away, because Latin America is a very large continent and South America is also very big, and a lot of people is also trying to cross through there. I thought sports could be a really good option for them, because also right now I am living in the Middle East, and as you know, if you heard about the Middle East, there is a lot of refugees and internally displaced populations. So I wanted to take the lessons that I learned through my job and through my work over there and translate them into my region. So my solution and the idea that I have is that I want to facilitate sport for protection activities for these children to support their psychosocial well-being. You know, if children have experienced like very high traumas, I just want to give them the opportunity to play with others, to relax, to be in a safe environment in which they can feel safe and be themselves, and try to find a positive coping mechanisms to what has been happening or to what happened to them, even if they were separated from their families, or they are in a country in which is not their country. A lot of these children also come from different communities inside Guatemala, so I want to foster social cohesion by having them, play with other children, or also if there are children, as I mentioned, coming in from other countries like Venezuela, for example, or Colombia, or similar, I want to enhance social cohesion and just give them an opportunity for them, to feel safe in an environment, and I want to do this through sport. So some of the SDGs that I'll be touching on with my project is actually one, reduce inequalities by offering boys and girls and people, in really remote locations that don't have access to sports, so that they can actually practice the sports, but also peace, justice, and strong institutions, which is number 16. To especially also to try to eliminate all forms of violence or torture for children. And also, I will be touching on, not so directly, but on good health and well-being, on good education and clean water and sanitation, and also on SDG number 8, which is on economic growth. That's a little bit about it, and now I'll pass it over to Dougie.
Yep. So yeah, I'm Dhukhilan Jeevamani from Singapore, and one of the 25 young leaders. A little bit more about myself. I'm a former professional footballer in Singapore and a bronze medalist at the 2010 Youth Olympic Games. I played for the Singapore national football team at all age group levels, till the under-23s. Served in the Air Force for 2 years because of conscription in Singapore. Graduated in finance at Dublin, Ireland. Currently, I work in the finance industry with experiences in family offices, impact funds, and banking as well. I am the founder of the Possible Play, a social enterprise, empowering children, especially young girls from the ages of 5 to 16 years old, teaching them leadership and communication skills through football. So yeah, this a little bit more about my journey till now. Yeah, so my journey as an IOC Young Leader. So the first year, my focus was actually ideation to conceptualization. Yes, I was selected as the IOC Young Leader, but how am I going to create my project? So I actually thought of the idea of the Possible Play, a catchy name that actually garners attention. So it's a social business, and what is my product going to be, and what is the prototype going to be? So I was able to create a football boot camp. Actually, it was a free boot camp, and it was done in December 2021. We were able to do this in the midst of the pandemic. We kept groups really small, about 5 to a group, and we avoided them. We actually didn't allow them to intermingle, so that was a really good experience. And surprisingly, we had a lot of participants that joined us. So expected turnout was 120, but we actually got almost 336 participants, which was a 2.8 increase. And from that, we actually could understand that there was actually a demand for sports programs for kids in Singapore. And since my topic, my idea was to touch on gender equality, so I was able to also measure participation progress for girls. And we realized that not many girls are participating in sports, and we are actually focused on having a balanced number of female and male participants. So here are some data. You could see that there are more boys participating compared to girls. For every girl, we had about 6 to 7 boys. And also, in terms of coaching staff, we had more female coaches compared to male. So for every female coaches, we had about 6 to 7 male coaches. And yeah, so here are some pictures of my boot camp. You could see that the kids really enjoy themselves, and it's really an inclusive environment. Kids can just join whenever they want to, and it's a really safe space for all of them to actually take part in. Yep. So in year 2 as an IOC Young Leader, my focus was actually on growth. So I was able to offer an 8-week program, leadership program for the kids. And we actually are in our 3rd edition right now. And as every program go on to the next edition, we actually, on the business side, we actually focus on sign-ups, profits, and actually profit margin as well. So on the social aspect, since we are a social business, we're also focusing on female sign-ups, having more female coaches, as well as having upgrading courses for our coaches, such as CPR, and getting their coaching badges as well. So as an IOC Young Leader, I was also given leadership opportunities to speak at and also to give workshops such as the Global Social Business Summit, the Urban Soccer Symposium in partnership with the US Soccer Foundation, One Young World in Manchester, the IOC Youth Summit, and now here in the World Youth Festival in Bangkok. So thank you to the program as well for that. And now we'll play a video of another IOC Young Leader called Omar. He's based in Egypt, and here's a little bit more about his project and himself.
My name is Omar Basyouni. I am IOC Young Leader. I spent all my life in Alexandria in Egypt. Growing up, I was quite a calm child, but I was very passionate about sports since a very young age. I have been playing table tennis for 23 years. I've been playing since I was 5 years old. I had to play, over a small stage so I would be able to reach the table at that time. My father actually is an iconic figure in table tennis. He was one of the top referees in the continent. He officiated in 3 Olympics and 7 World Championships. He taught me everything I know about table tennis. He was always supporting me all the time. There is a particular moment which has impacted me so much in 2017 in one of the closing ceremonies in an international tournament in Europe. Everyone is dancing around with wheelchair or without wheelchair. Everyone is equal and everyone is having fun by the power of sport. The problem I'm trying to solve through my project is inequality in my community, is the lack of inclusion, the lack of accessibility. My project idea with the IOC Young Leaders is to create a table tennis academy for people with disabilities. And we want to create a community where everyone is feeling safe to practice sport. What got in my mind when I started my project is to provide my community the support they need in order to raise awareness and in order to reduce inequalities in Egypt. One of the participants, she couldn't wait to start actually being part of the program. Such experience gives me the motivation to continue to support people in my community, to continue to grow and develop my project in the future. The values I'm trying to spread through my program is equality, inclusion, and respect. One thing my project has revealed about myself is that I will never stop learning. That learning is a process, and different experiences will impact us. The most valuable thing I'm getting out of the IOC Young Leaders is the support system. The IOC Young Leaders supports us daily. We're having monthly sessions with a pool of experts. The support system is a big boost to us and has shaped our project and also our experiences in the program. What I would say to the next generation of the IOC Young Leaders is to start by themselves in order to find areas where their community needs support and help. Come and join us. You will have a lifetime experience. You will use a sport as a tool to impact other people's life, and you will also develop yourself by being part of our program.
So some of the key messages that we want to share with you is just to get more information about the SDGs, and also to reach out to your friends or to your networks, and try to work to start making change in your local communities.
Yeah, and also the power of sport and how we can actually help us in many ways, and also empower us, and how we also can empower people. And also the power of the Olympics, and also how they are able to share their values in friendship, respect, and excellence.
So thank you. I think we're running behind schedule, but if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out. And thank you so much.
Thank you.